Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Greg here today, bringing us the Port of Verdansk ground war guide. So today what we'll be going over is this map, my breakdowns, everything about this map and what you guys got to watch out for, whether it be spawns, snipers, power positions, streak routes, and flank routes. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into this, starting off with the snipers as usual. So our sniper positions are going to be basically any single crane you see on the map, people are going to be sniping from. Also, there are some other areas like on top of D or B. People will generally sit there, sometimes even in the windows that overlook A at B, as well as there is a little tiny part I want to make a point of all the way out right on the map. You'll see a little circle there. People kind of try to hide behind that wall and pick people out of B from there. And then basically, like I said, all the cranes on the left side, and there is a little bit of an area where people will be sitting on a rooftop in A, as well as right outside of E down there in the bottom right. So basically those are all the spots you got to watch out for snipers. That's going to be the main positions they're going to gravitate towards. Taking a look at our E flanks, so basically whenever you are going towards A, you're going to either want to take the left side all the way around the cranes, and you can get up into a little area up to A, as well as you can cut off for whatever flag you want to go to. If you want to go for C or even B, a little bit easier, I would definitely recommend taking this other flank route, which is going to make you go through your HQ, and the reason why is you're going to get the least amount of resistance as you can travel through the trenches and stuff that are over there, and then eventually you'll make your way to C, and you can work your way up around the silos a little bit past C if you want to try to get to B around that way. Although you will have to expose yourself. You can go under the bridge if you want, but I'm just saying that that's a pretty decent spot where you can also see into A, and you'll be able to maybe get some picks and stuff like that. But under the bridge is actually one of the power positions we'll get over later, so if you want to push up to there, you can. So the E flanks are a little bit different. Basically, we're going to go from A all the way down towards E. If on the left side, it's basically the same, except you're going to stop at E, and you can basically do whatever you want there. You know, if you're going to farm people, if you're going to capture the flag, whatever you're trying to do. But C is just a little bit different. So instead of going in our HQ all the way around, generally if you spawn at the HQ, you might spawn where the lumber area is of A, which is still in the HQ, of course, but you can generally leave right out there, and you don't have to follow exactly as the red line is. You can basically catch up once you get around the silos. That's where you're really going to want to try to go to. But if you want the least amount of resistance possible, you can travel outside of the tarp, like the tarp area that covers between the field and A, and you can go through there, cut down, and go ahead and do a flank. Now, I will recommend vehicles if you are going to do this, simply because there's a lot of open area you can be sniped from or even killed from B. So I definitely recommend taking a vehicle whenever you're doing this flank, but it's a great way to work towards C and D if you really want to. So go ahead and use this one as you see fit. So next up, we have our A streak routes, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, the one I like to use the most is the one on the right. The reason being is I love basically sitting up on top of C with a 7.62 weapon and just picking people off that are coming out of E. Maybe they're coming up to the bridge, they might be on top of D, stuff like that, whatever they're going to do off the top in the beginning of the game. You see that in a lot of my gameplays where I'll just be sitting on top of C, just tap firing people across the map, whether it be with stopping power or just 3-tapping with a 7.62 weapon. Overall, it is a great strategy, but if you do want to go to the left and you want to go to E, you can generally just go ahead and take a vehicle and go down the side of the cranes, and you'll be able to get up to E before they can probably even get into D, and you'll be able to kill people as they are trying to rotate towards D or C. There's only one main streak route I would even recommend for the E side, and that is basically going up the bridge down towards the B door. You can get off on the bridge if you want, so that way you can just jump down, go through the B door, and then once you get up there, you're going to go to the second layer of the building where all those windows are, and you can basically go through a bunch of different windows and killing people as they're rotating in from A to B right off the rip of the game. Now, one of the things I am going to warn you guys about is make sure you have claymores or proximity mines to be placing in the stairwells of the building, so that way you can have a little bit more time in order to get your streaks off the beginning of the game. That would be one of the best things I could recommend to you guys. So before we get into the power positions, well, let's take a look at the spawns. So basically, again, works as any other ground war map. They're going to be spawning around the flag towards their own HQ. So green means they're going to be spawning towards the A side, and blue means they're going to be spawning towards the E side. Now, like I said in one of my previous videos, I'm not marking individual spawns anymore because I don't know all the individual spawns, and I only know some of them, so I feel like I'm going to trick you guys into believing that, hey, these areas that I have marked are these set in stone spawns, and that is not true. So instead, I just want to tell you guys how the spawns work, and then that way you can make your own judgment on, where the enemies are going to be, and you'll be able to learn and memorize the spawns that way. Because, like I said, most people are going to be squad spawning anyways, so you don't really have to worry too much on these spawns, but there still might be, the occasional people that aren't working together as a team that will spawn on the flag. So just go ahead and use it to your discretion how the match is playing and stuff like that, and you guys will find some success with that. So last but not least, let's go ahead and take a look at the power positions. There's actually not that many on port because it's really just the flags, if I'm being completely honest. So basically, there's one in between B and D that I'm going to point out real quick, and that is an area where there's just like real tight area. If you can get in there, and you can generally pick people off, they're spawning at B or even A, and it's a very good spot for whenever you're pushed towards that side of the map. If they're spawning at D and E, the one I have marked under the bridge towards D and E is a very good spot. Also, if they're spawning B, the one under the bridge on that side again is a very, very good power position to be in as well. If they're spawning on the A side, even B side, it works really well too. Or I mean, not B side, E side. And then for C, basically the whole rooftop is a power position. Same thing goes with D. And there's a little corner at E that you can push up to, and generally you can farm people from there as well. So overall, these are the main power positions. A is just the crates. You can jump up on the crates, and then there's like the little box there. But they're really self-explanatory on this map. You can also go, on the flank areas and sit on the flanks if you want to as well, that I showed earlier, because they work as well. But if you're really looking for the most action, people trying to come back to you and get you out of these positions, these are going to be the best ones with the most cover. So, alright, so taking a look at the gameplay here today, we're going to be looking at a little bit of an older streak I had from a while back. This is a little bit of an older gameplay using the Uzi 41 AE. This is an absolutely dominant gun. Basically what I'm using is the monolithic suppressor, the FSS Carbine Pro, the 41 AE rounds, Merc foregrip, and stippled grip tape. So this is a pretty good class setup for the Uzi, and I was using Specialist this match, which is not very often I use Specialist, but I was playing with some of my friends from back home here, so we were just chilling, playing, and I told them I was just trying to get some nukes and stuff like that, and I was really just in a Specialist mood. So yeah, Specialist is a lot of fun. I really do enjoy it, but honestly, the Advanced is much better for getting nukes, and if you're just going for high scores, then obviously, running something like a VTOL, White Foss, and Gunship is probably your best bet in that regard. But anyways, so this streak, basically what I am doing is just trying to reposition myself after I get 1 to 2 kills, and the reason being is whenever you're streaking like this, generally there's going to be someone in the lobby that notices, they're paying attention to what's going on in the match. So there's always going to be one player that is, and they will see, in the upper right hand corner, whenever you go on higher kill streaks and stuff like that, they'll see like, hey, this guy's on a 10, he's on a 15, he's on a 20, he's on a 25, he's on a 30, and so on. Basically they can see whenever you are on each 5 kill streaks, basically each increment for 5 kills, they'll see what kill streak you're on. So generally, you're gonna get hunted as the kill streak is higher, so people are gonna start looking for you. Maybe if someone calls you out, if people are playing a party, they'll know where you're at, and you got to be careful, right? So you got to keep changing up your position, you got to be smart about it, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. Basically, what I'm doing right now is I know that they're targeting me, so I'm just going to hold my ground and try to pick people off one at a time as they try to push up to me. One of my friends is looking here for one of the people, and basically, they're going to give me a call out and let me know, and I'm basically just pushing around back a little bit here, just seeing, in case there's a flanker, you never know what can happen. But we basically, this entire match, had them trapped at E. They were just basically not able to push out, and our team was not able to really push up and capture E or anything like that and cause a DEFCON or anything like that. So it was kind of like one of those perfect lobbies where basically, I was able to play around to my own pacing and stuff like that. Didn't have to worry about DEFCONs, didn't have to worry about spawns flipping all that much, and that's why I was able to sit back here. So this building right here, it's not really the best position to be in because you don't really have an exit whenever you're pinned here. So this is kind of like one of those spots where you're going to be pinched if you stay there. But you kind of just have to play it out and see how people are playing in the match and stuff like that. So right here, whenever I use Specialist, I really like to use Stopping Power. And honestly, Stopping Power is very underrated in Ground War. I think that a lot of people tend to just stick with Munitions Box or Dead Silence and stuff like that. But I honestly think that Stopping Power is one of the best field upgrades because you get Sleight of Hand for the Basically, whenever you put it in, if you don't have sleight of hand, like let's say you're not running sleight of hand on your gun, or you don't have specialist bonus that gives you sleight of hand, you actually get a sleight of hand reload for that mag that you put in. So in a very sticky situation, whenever you know you're overrun and you might die, you can pop stopping power in, you'll reload really quickly, and you'll have one less bullet to kill, or even sometimes two. It really just depends on the gun, unless they changed it, but I don't think they did. Some guns feel like they definitely are 2-shot to the head, but ever since they fixed the whole headshot multiplier thing, if you guys don't know, now stopping power also does bonus damage on top of headshots, so I believe it can be 2 less bullets to kill to the head. I could be wrong though. We might need someone like Exclusive Ace's opinion on this, or some testing and stuff like that. But right here, I'm basically sitting behind these barrels at this spot. Now, this is that spot I was telling you guys about that a lot of people might push up from and stuff like that. And the reason that I'm sitting behind these barrels is basically I know I'm close to the nuke. There's a tank around. There's a counter UAV up there. They have B and C now. So basically at this point, I'm really just trying to play my life, trying to figure out where enemies are, trying to play it as safely as possible. And I have my teammates here helping me out. They're working with me, and they're trying to help keep me alive. And one of the things about playing with your friends, regardless of how good your friends may be, that you can still coordinate with them. You can still tell them, hey guys, I need some help, spawn on me if you can, and they'll spawn on you and stuff like that. So working as a team can really help you get better gameplays and stuff like this. And again, we're pinched here. I'm not really sure where the enemies are. There's no UAVs going up, anything like that. So at this point, the best thing to do is just play it safe. Just try to listen for audio cues, look where people are coming from. That's why I keep laying down here, because I'm watching my own back, as one of them might watch my front, and we keep trading off. We keep saying like, hey, here's what goes on. So eventually we get a UAV up, and at this point, I'm one off the nuke, and I see that they're all basically there. Now there could be a ghost user here. That's why I pushed up, and I started ADSing as I got a little bit closer. I ended up picking up the tactical nuke though, and then I get sniped or something like that. And yeah, so basically I'm just gonna spawn back in on my teammate and call up the nuke. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you learned anything about Port today, as well as if you enjoyed the gameplay. I know this is a little bit of a campy nuke. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not really in a spot where you can rotate out, because here's the thing. If I rotated out, I would have probably just got shot in the back and killed. If I tried to go out to the left there, people on E are just going to kill me. So honestly, it's one of those pinch spots. The only way really out is a vehicle, and you just really have to have a squad you can play with. You're going to play that spot, or you just have to hope that the lobby can't kill you. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace out.